Is everybody having fun? All right. The best part about this night is that we're going to celebrate Maddie and Alex, and we're going to have a good time. So, a lot of people asked me when we first started this process, are you going to... Well, first of all, where are all my girl dads? Put your arms up if you're a girl dad. I want to see your girl dad out there. All right, we got enough girl dads in here. All right, so everybody, the popular thing that everybody said is, are you going to cry? And of course my answer was, of course I'm going to cry. But the real answer to that question, and girl dads, get my back on this, if you don't cry, you didn't do it right. All right? If you don't cry, you didn't do it right. The second question that everybody asked me was, have you written your speech yet? And the answer was no. Some of my law partners would say, he doesn't write his closing arguments. Why the hell would he write a speech? But the honest answer to that question, and this is not a joke, is that I started writing this speech the day the doctor placed this little blonde hair, blue-eyed bundle in my arms on May 3rd, 1999. And that's not a lie. That's not a lie. I started writing this speech when we would read books before we went to bed. Goodnight Gorilla, Big Red Barn, Goodnight Moon. We'd sing songs. I started writing this speech when I read Harry Potter and did all the voices, which was more fun for me than her, I think, actually. I started writing this speech when I was coaching t-ball, coaching softball. I was writing this speech when a young lady came to me and said, Dad, do you mind if I don't play softball anymore because I really want to be in the musical? And I said, yes, because I love you, because I know that you played softball because it meant a lot to me, but you're going to the musical because that meant a lot to you. I wrote this speech as I watched this little girl grow into a young lady, and I admired her compassion for everything, anything that was alive, whether it was the smallest bug or the largest animal. I fell in love with her over and over again as she taught me all the facts about animals, all the facts about things. We went out in the backyard and captured a wolf spider and kept a wolf spider as a pet for a week. Because, that's what you do when you're 5, right? And as she grew up into this amazing young woman and went off to college, I wrote this speech almost every day. The hardest thing about writing this speech is you only get to write half of it. The second half comes after she brings the person home to whom she's going to marry. That's another story. So Gene told the story last night of when Maddie and Alex met at orientation. And the truth of it is that they hit it off and they were texting back and forth during the summer, and then they got to campus in the fall, and things didn't exactly go the way they were supposed to. They kind of drifted apart and weren't communicating. And she was a little upset, and you never, as the father, you never get the direct story, right? You're sitting next to the mother who's talking on the phone, so you're hearing one side of the conversation and extrapolating, right? So figured, okay, well, this Alex thing isn't going great. All right, whatever. So then, towards the end of first semester, now things are great. Alex asked her to go to coffee, and we went to get coffee, and things are great. And so I hear this conversation about this Alex kid. And as a father, I say, wait a minute, what's going on with this Alex kid? And my wife looks at me and says, oh, it's a different Alex. And I'm like, okay, it's a different Alex. Because, that's what they think us fathers are, right? We're not paying attention. I knew it was the same Alex. And I was happy that it was the same Alex. And got to know this young man through the college years, and he was fantastic. And then March of 2020 rolled around, and we were down in Mexico with some dear friends of ours, literally the day that the country was shutting down. I mean, we did not think that we were going to be able to get back in the country from Mexico. Being stuck in Mexico for 6 months would have sucked, maybe, but we had to get back. So we were calling the kids from Mexico, and we said, hey, here's what we need you to do. Go to the grocery store and buy everything you can that we can do to make meals, because they had sent the kids from University of Illinois home. So Alex was at our place, Maddie was at our place, Mikey was home, and we said, go to the store, go to Schnucks, take some money, get whatever you can. I'm thinking spaghetti, right? Chicken breast, things like that. We get home, and we have all that, which was great. And then I look at the counter, and stacked in a nice little pyramid are about 30 cans of sweetened condensed milk. I'm like, okay, well, that's interesting. It's a lifetime supply of sweetened condensed milk. So I said, hey, who bought the milk? Maddie goes, Alex did. I said, Alex, what did we get the milk for? He goes, you add some water. It's milk. I'm like, got a little bit of work to do. Then finally we took, after COVID broke, we took Maddie's 21st birthday and Jean's 50th birthday. We took a knockdown, drag-out Disney trip. That one that we really took out all the stops, went down, had a really good time. And some of the folks in here have done this with me, and I know some people in here are Disney fans. There's a thing at Disney World called Drinking the World, right? So when you go to Epcot Center, there are 11 countries. Every country, in the old days it was a beer, now they got a specialty drink because it's a big thing. But you drink the world. I was doing Drink the World before it was cool, right? Now it's cool. Anyway, so we go down, and all I hear the whole week we're down there is Alex is like, I'm drinking the world with you. I'm like, Alex, I don't know that that's a great idea. And he's like, no, I'm going to drink the world with you. Okay, so we do it counterclockwise. We start in Canada. Have a Molson in Canada. Okay, everything's going great. He actually lays down a foundation of some poutine. So he has some poutine, he's ready to go, has a Molson. Then we get to Britain. I think we had a Bass. And then we get to France, and he's a mess. And I'm thinking to myself, Christ, kid, we got another 8 countries to go. So we cut him off, no more. So then the next one's Italy. So we get to Italy, he's banned, he can't do anything. And we're doing Facebook updates every country, right? And he's with me, then he's on the floor, then he's absent for a while. So we get to Italy, and he's not allowed to have anything, but Maddie wants a Prosecco. So we get Maddie a Prosecco. Which, by the way, a Prosecco in Italy at Disney World is like $97, right? So she's drinking this $97 Prosecco. And Alex says, can I have a sip of that? She goes, sure. He just chugs it. Chugs an entire glass of Prosecco. So long story short, he's in timeout for a while, but he rallies at the end, comes back in, manages to be in the last couple of photographs, and people online are like, I thought Alex was banned. We're to China now, and Alex is back in the route. So, and then shortly after that, he asked Jean and I whether we would be happy for him to become our son-in-law. So to bring this back around, and part of my job as the father-in-law is to bust my son-in-law's chops. And I do that lovingly. And I always tell him, if I ever stop busting your chops, that's when you got to worry. I got to write the second half of this speech over the last 7 years, and I could not be more proud. I could not be more honored. And I could not be more happy. You two are wonderful human beings. You make each other better people. You make all of us proud. And I can't wait to see the life that you guys forge together. We love you both so dearly. Everyone in this room is so happy for you. And I couldn't be more proud to call Alex Komenescu my son, married to my lovely daughter, Maddie Komenescu, which is, I gotta admit, gonna be weird. Very long. And honestly, I can't spell it. Like somebody asked me the other day how to spell it. I'm like, I gotta write it down. Here we go. There's a C, an X, I don't know. There's a bunch of stuff in there. Anyway, I love these two. I'm so proud of these two. I couldn't be more happy that the last chapter of this speech was written with you, Alex, and that she chose you and that you chose her. Ladies and gentlemen, could you please raise your glasses and let's have a toast to Mr. and Mrs. Komenescu.